Well, holy smokes. It seems like Donald Trump has the number of the corrupt officials who tried to take him down and may well be able to get grand jury indictments. Again, if you can't return a grand jury indictment, you can't move forward in the prosecution. That's how the grand jury system works. The feds are making their case right now in multiple courts around the country outside of D.C. Now, if somebody like us, community college graduates, can figure this one out, then of course the smartest minds in the world inside of the DOJ and inside of the FBI and inside of Trump's prosecutors can figure this one out, right? Stephen Miller running them all. And they've been able to impanel grand juries outside of the District of Columbia. Thank God. Even whilst they are doing a military takeover of the District of Columbia, which is freaking awesome. So this is the news. I mean, it's off the top, this is like breaking. This is the news off the top of the show, and it locks in with something that I think is very important from this morning. Hillary Clinton suddenly changing her tune on Donald Trump. It's an amazing thing that's happening right now. So I want you to see, first off, this important clip from John Solomon, where John Solomon talks about the number of grand juries that are currently ready to return indictments outside of Washington, and they're doing this really fast. It's an amazing piece of work from the Trump DOJ and his top prosecutors. Here we go.
Listen, the way you opened your show, there's no better description of what the conspiracy is. It's a conspiracy to protect potential of Democrats from potential criminal prosecution and then to violate the civil liberties and privacy and reputations of innocent Republicans to create an alternate story to protect political interest, meaning what's going to happen in the election. That's what it is. It's not more complicated. And I know people say, oh, a conspiracy case is going to be complicated. No, it's really not. We protected Democrats. And the cycle is Hillary has two problems. Email, now corruption. We can prove that was active at the time. Hunter Biden's got corruption in taxes. And by the way, the first evidence of that comes in March through May of 2016. And then 2019, it's Hunter Biden a lot more. And so we impeached the president and we have the government actually creating stories that I think we will prove were false. And then in 21, they find Joe Biden's classified documents at UPenn office in Washington and his garage. And they got to make Donald Trump look like he's the classified guy first, before they can let the cat out of the bag that Joe Biden has the same problem. It's a wash, rinse, and repeat cycle. And in the course of that, two potential crimes are occurring. Obstruction of legitimate investigations. Those are overt acts of a conspiracy. And then the violation of innocent people's civil liberties to create a political ruse. That is where I believe the grand conspiracy case is headed. I believe that there are multiple grand juries that have begun work around this country in multiple jurisdictions outside of Washington where evidence is now being gathered.
You do? You
I do.
Can report that, or you have reason to believe that?
Nope, I have confirmed witnesses and who've had contact with the grand jury. So there are grand jurors in multiple locations. Some of those are in Virginia. I believe one is going to begin based on early discussions in Pennsylvania. There may be one in New York. And so the activity has begun. And the question now is, and those are probably not going to be the indicting locations. I think the more likely thing is you use multiple grand juries just to make it easy to gather lots of information quickly. That's the way strike forces work. And then you keep working from there. But there are multiple locations where pieces of this are being looked at. And maybe the grand jurors don't even know it's a grand conspiracy, just looking at some of the overt acts in one of these chapters of this sad story. But that is going on. And I think it's going to be a process, right? It's going to be a 6-month process. I don't know the reason yet. I wish I knew. I don't know the reason. I mean, there's lots. It could be related to the 2020 election.
Yeah, that's where my mind went.
Yeah. So we don't know yet. I just know that certain witnesses have been contacted about acceptance of grand jury subpoenas, and they're in different locations. So the process is beginning, but it's a long process. And, we won't know a lot about if the Justice Department does the right thing. Unlike the Obama and Biden Justice Departments that leaked anything, the grand jury process will be unbelievably secret and will be masked from it because that's the way the process is supposed to work. In the meantime, we have an opportunity through the Freedom of Information Act and through our purchase as reporters to go out and try to get the story for the American people so they can understand why this is going on. The Democrats who didn't care.
John Solomon is on a generational run right now. Well done, John Solomon. So he has confirmed that there are multiple grand juries outside of Washington, D.C., which is a critical element that are looking into all manner of fraudulence in the grand criminal conspiracy against President Trump. It's happening, and at the exact same time that John Solomon reports that, exactly 5 hours later, here we have Hillary Clinton calling for the Nobel Peace Prize for Donald Trump. Wow! Could it possibly be connected? Give me a pardon, please. I beg of you. Let's read the tweet. Hillary Clinton openly admits that she would nominate President Trump for the Nobel Peace Prize if he ends the war in Ukraine. Hillary Clinton, of course, adding a rejoinder there, trying to be president. Hillary Clinton has been president in her own mind for many years. Honestly, if he would bring about the end of this terrible war, if he could end it without putting Ukraine in a position where it had to concede territory to the aggressor, could really stand up to Putin, something that we haven't seen, an opportunity. If he were to do that, I would nominate him for a Nobel Peace Prize. You know, here's Hillary Clinton begging for a pardon. That's what this is. We have a clip of Hillary Clinton saying this. Do we? Yeah? Yeah, we have a play-beside. Okay. Well, let's go ahead and do that as our Salt That Lib for the day. And then Jillian Michael's going to join us in just a minute with a, boy, I got to tell you, like the single saltiest lib takedown we've ever seen, which is remarkable. So here's Hillary Clinton. Man, I hate doing this to you. I hate having to play a Hillary Clinton clip. It's just so hard. So I apologize if you're hungover or if you haven't had your coffee yet, or, you know, I just hate doing this in the morning. So maybe we do. This is our truncated Salt That Lib. Now we have Jillian Michael really salting libs on CNN. Okay, so here's Hillary Clinton saying she's going to nominate Trump for a Nobel Peace Prize.
If President Trump were the architect of that, I'd nominate him for a Nobel Peace Prize.
We are on the precipice of a meeting between President Trump and President Putin in Alaska. Drawing on your experience as Secretary of State, if you were en route to Alaska, what would you be looking to get? What does an acceptable deal look like?
He is not meeting with a friend. He is meeting with an adversary, and an adversary who wants to see the destruction of the United States and the Western alliance. But if he could bring about the end to this terrible war, where Putin is the aggressor, invading a neighbor country, trying to change the borders, if he could end it without putting Ukraine in a position where it had to concede its territory to the aggressor, had to, in a way, validate Putin's vision of greater Russia, but instead could really stand up to Putin to make it clear there must be a ceasefire, there will be no exchange of territory, and that over a period of time, Putin should be actually withdrawing from the territory he seized in order to demonstrate good faith efforts, let us say, not to threaten European security. If President Trump were the architect of that, I'd nominate him for a Nobel Peace Prize.
Okay. All right. Well, salty lib. Also, Hillary looking, boy, Hildebeest looking tough, man. Well, it's just yikes. They shut down Epstein Island, right? They end the flow of adrenochrome, and then suddenly all of these globalists just end up looking like burned oven mitts. You know, like they're all like melting away. Have you seen Kathy Griffin recently? Holy moly. She does. She looks like an action figure that you left in the oven.